said that
we come to New Hampshire to see the laboratory of democracy because it's so retail. And not only do you get to see the candidates, but you get to see the people who live in New Hampshire and hear what they have to say about what's going on in the primaries. This has been a different year. I don't feel the same buzz as we felt in other years, maybe because the primary is only on one side and they're not the plethora of candidates.
Seem to get started much later this year.
Probably because it's so compact. I mean, to go from Christmas to caucus to primary in, 4 weeks?
Well, even earlier in the year, it seems that in the 08 cycle, back in early 07, we had the candidates coming through in November of 2006 even, getting started coming through the state.
Maybe because there was an uncontested race on both sides. There was no incumbent. Whereas now on the Democratic side, there is an incumbent that seems to, is there a Democratic primary? Are Democrats going to be voting on Tuesday?
They're trying to get people to vote, yeah.
Whereas you've had, for a year now, basically, we've had the Republican debates. I've lost track of how many Republican debates there have been.
Right.
And so it's there's got to be a fatigue somewhere along the line.
Now, let me ask you this. What do you make about Buddy Roemer and he not being included in tonight's debate? Even though he polled similarly to Perry, even with Perry, and Perry just flew in.
And I guess that's one of the things that the party had to decide, and they decided to exclude him for some odd reason. And that you can only ask the state of New Hampshire how they put people on the ballots, which I'm not aware of.
Well, he's on the ballot. He just didn't make it into the debate.
Being a national debate with the national media, I guess they were the ones who made the decision. That's a good point.
Well, even Vermin Supreme is on the ballot.
Well, I guess that's where you draw the line. How many people can you have at a debate? 6 are pretty many.
Yeah.
Even in a 2-hour debate to have a substantive discussion. So I don't know how those are done state by state, or even what the litmus test is a pejorative, but what the litmus test is to get on the main stage would be.
Great. Well, are you a journalist in Baltimore?
No, not by trade. Up here, taking notes. I will probably do something for my neighborhood newspaper, just the community newspaper, just talking about something I did on what would be a vacation.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm discovering that there are a lot of political tourists here. And it's interesting.
Are you a native New Hampshireite?
Yeah, I live out in Portsmouth.
Okay.
I run a video blog, and I'm a board member of the startup public access TV station out in Portsmouth.
So born and raised here?
No, not born and raised. I actually grew up down in Connecticut.
Okay.
But I've been here
What brought you north?
UNH.
Okay.
Graduated in 2000.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am familiar in my past life. Worked for nonprofits, worked at Gettysburg College, and a former president of UNH was the former president of Gettysburg, Gordon Holland.
All right. Small world.
It's a very small world.
Yeah. Well, hey, it was a pleasure.
It's a pleasure meeting you, Dan.
Yeah.
And I guess
I'll shake your hand.
Shake your hands and put it on the video.
Put the camera down and shake your hand properly.
Yeah.